Okay, let's be real. Have you ever dreamed of having a supercomputer but, didn't have a super budget? Well, what if I told you that you could get a server with some truly mind-blowing specs, completely for free? It sounds a little too good to be true, I know. But today, we're going to break down a method that claims to do just that. First up, let's just let this number sink in. 64 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, that's more than a lot of high-end gaming PCs have. It's an insane amount of memory. And on top of that, you get a really generous 210 gigs of storage. That's plenty of room for some seriously big projects, datasets, or a full-on development environment. And for the grand finale, a blazing fast 4,000 megabit per second internet connection. We're talking about enterprise-level speed, just sitting there, waiting for you to use it. So let's dive right in and see how this incredible claim actually holds up. We're going to walk through the entire process step by step, pulling directly from the source material. Here's the game plan. We'll start with the promise itself, then walk through creating the workspace. We'll uncover a critical secret about an error message, unlock the machine, put it to the test, and then, of course, deliver the final verdict. So what is this thing we're actually building? Let's get clear on the core idea behind this seriously powerful and free tool. Basically, what we're doing here is creating our own private computer that just happens to live in the cloud. It's got its own dedicated resources, that huge chunk of RAM and storage, and you get full control over it. It's like having the machine without having the actual physical box or the bill that comes with it. All right, time to get our hands dirty. Let's get into the actual setup. It all kicks off with just a few simple clicks on one particular website. So you're going to head over to ide.google.com. You'll need to be logged into a Google account. From there, you just find the Android Studio Cloud option, give your project a name, any name will do, and hit Create. Seems simple enough, right? But the next step, that's where things get really interesting. And this part right here is absolutely crucial. You have to wait. The system takes a few minutes to build your virtual machine in the background, and your patience in this moment is literally the key to making this whole thing work. And that waiting period brings us to the single most important part of this entire process. Seriously, this one little detail is what separates success from failure. Okay, so a lot of people are going to hit this oops error message right after they click create. And your first instinct, your gut reaction, is probably going to be to hit the back button and start over. But that is the one thing you absolutely should not do. And here it is, the big secret from the source material. Whatever you do not go back. Just stay on that error page and wait. It seems like it's just a display bug. The screen isn't updating to tell you that the machine is still being built in the background. So the error is just visual, but the process, it's still working just fine. So why is this so important? Because if you go back and try again, you're actually telling it to create a second virtual machine on your account. By just waiting patiently, you make sure you get the one workspace you wanted without any extra confusion. Okay, so you've waited, the error page disappeared, and the environment finally loads. You'll see an application called Android Studio. But we want the full desktop, right? And getting there requires one last little trick. The whole goal here is just to close the app that opens by default. So you'll click through a couple of pop-ups, quickly create a dummy project just to get through the wizard, and then you'll look for the exit button to terminate the application. This doesn't shut down your server, not at all. It just closes the program and reveals the powerful Linux system hiding right underneath. All right, this is the moment of truth. We followed all the steps, we navigated that tricky error, we've unlocked the desktop, but did we actually get the specs that were promised at the beginning? Well, according to the tests in the source material, the answer is a big, loud yes. The system reports about 64 gigs of RAM, a full 210 gigs of storage, and network speeds that are right on the money at that 4,000 megabit per second mark. The hardware is real. Now, here's something important to remember. This isn't your typical Windows desktop. It's a Linux environment. But for developers, data scientists, or really anyone who's comfortable in a Linux shell, this is fantastic news. It offers unbelievable power and flexibility. So we've got the power, we've got the speed, but there's one last really critical question. Is it persistent? If you close your browser tab, is all your work just gone? To test this, the original creator ran a simple but honestly brilliant experiment. They started a stopwatch inside the server, then completely closed the browser tab. They waited a few minutes, then logged back in. And the result? The stopwatch was still ticking away, exactly where they left it.
So the takeaways here are pretty clear. Your session is persistent, which means your background tasks will keep chugging along. The web connection is actually really smooth and responsive. And for the best results, just stick to one of these workspaces per Google account. It's a legit, powerful tool for heavy-duty work.
And this isn't just for a few minutes. The original creator confirms they tested this thing for a solid hour, and everything they left running, from YouTube videos to other processes, was still active and waiting for them when they came back. It's stable and it's reliable. This method effectively puts a high-performance computer into anyone's hands for free. It just opens up this whole world of possibilities for developers, for students, for creators. So the only question left really is, with this much power at your fingertips, what are you going to create?